We wanted to welcome everybody to our AMA. It's exciting times. We're coming up on the Heroes release, which is going to start featuring the actual gameplay that's going to be using our Heroes NFTs. So this is an exciting time for all of us. We wanted to start out by just giving the team members who'd like to give some updates on what they're working on, anyone who thinks they have something to share with the community, give them a moment to do so. And then what we'll be doing is taking questions from the AMA questions channel. If you type it in there, that's where I'll be looking for them. So if they're in general, cross post them over to the AMA questions, and we'll look through there. So to start out, as far as the team sharing what they've been working on or what they'd like to share, Sinstar, did you have anything from the design department you'd like to share?
Yeah, I could start us. And I have tried to keep like um connected with the community a little bit. But it has been kind of hard this last week in particular is just a lot like going on. So I mostly do little updates here and there. Sunday is the main one where I'll go through kind of what we're doing, little spotlights with the design department. So I did post one of those in the announcements today. And that kind of just briefly to go over that, we hired on some pixel artists and we're working with them. And I'm kind of just handling them and getting to them to get started on like specific tasks. So some are really good at scenes, um, isometric isometric scenes. Some are good at like overworld maps. Some are good with character design. Some are good with like item design and equipments and all that kind of stuff. Some I have on UI elements. And so I am kind of getting a feel for them and they're getting a feel for this the pace of this team. So we're kind of working with each other. This week was a lot of communication. So I spent a lot of time with them communicating and seeing what what they're going to provide, and I'm happy with all of them. They're doing really good, and some of their tasks are done already, and it's going to be in the game coming up here pretty soon. Some of the other tasks that they're doing is going to take a little while to like eventually roll out. It's just bigger stuff that I have them working on some of them. So but it's been really nice to have the extra help. And that's kind of, in terms of what I've been doing, that has been a lot of extra work this week, but it's been very worth it. And I'm excited long term what this means because it's just going to open up, the possibility to produce content and get stuff out much faster than if it was
Right.
just me doing all the pixel art. So that's me.
Yeah, that's awesome. Yeah, we're really excited to see the refresh that comes for the zones they're working on, and they're very talented. Okay, so I'm not sure if I guess I should just ask Fox if he has anything in particular he'd like to cover before we get going to these questions. Fox, did you have anything you'd like to
Yeah,
share before we get started?
yeah, thank you.
Uh-huh.
It's been an exciting week. It feels like almost a lifetime ago, but we had the snapshot on Wednesday for the Generation Zero Shiny Hero airdrop. And a lot of people were anticipating that. There was a lot of excitement. A lot of people were stacking jewels in the bank. And it was really awesome to see all of the response we had there. And then afterwards, I think there was like a 2 second dip, and then it came back even stronger like it does. So yeah, that was cool. It was our first real snapshot that we had done like that, so it was kind of experimental for us, using the Explorer and also at the same time having a snapshot over in the governance just to ensure that if there's anything that is wrong, we can always have that as a fallback. And it seemed like it worked really well. There were a couple people that I had to update, but other than that, it went really well. Um, and then yesterday, we had the actual raffle for that. So I had a live stream we did, and we stuck all of those addresses over in the wheel and spun it 50 times. Actually, I think 51 times. and had some winners. So really big congrats to all of the ones who won. You guys are lucky. I'm actually really jealous, and they will be getting those when we launch Heroes in our phase 2 towards the end of this month. And they'll be getting them a few hours prior to the sale opening up for everyone else. So you guys will be able to open up those crystal eggs and receive the lower hero ID numbers that are always coveted in this space, it seems like. And I'm excited to see what people pull. I think there's going to be some really awesome things. But yeah, all that was fun. And we have some really big things that are coming up this week too, as we start to hone in on that new Heroes release that we're doing. So lots of
Yeah.
awesome things coming up.
And talking about that spreadsheet for those winners, a large chunk of them only had one entry, so that was kind of nice to see. Everyone got something from the airdrop. Well, not everyone, but a
Yeah.
lot of people did.
Yeah, no, there's a lot of luck in the air that day, so it was nice. That's mostly it. I think from the dev standpoint, we're just working really hard on the upcoming launch on the front end and the back end. We have a lot of really cool things. I really, really love the way it looks and like the way it's going, which most of you guys haven't seen anything of yet because it's all just internal right now. But I think it looks really cool, and I'm really excited about it. So
Yeah.
that's where we're at.
And I kind of jumped the gun a little bit jumping into this. I forgot to introduce a member of the team we haven't had on the AMA yet. It's Hubert Cumberdale, and he's actually helping us work out the game mechanics. I just wanted to get him to say hi and just introduce himself a bit before we get going on these questions. Hubert, are you able to talk?
Yep. Can you guys hear me?
Yep.
Yep.
All right. Yeah. Hi, everyone. I'm Hubert. I was brought on to work on the game mechanics. I guess just a quick update of what I've been working on. I'm currently working on the initial quests that are going to be available with the release of Phase 2. Those will be the profession quests, fishing, mining, foraging, and gardening. And just trying to get the final touches on that. And then we're getting really close to having all the mechanics in place for this initial launch.
Awesome. Glad to have you here, and we're really, really happy with the work he's been doing, helping he's been a really strong advocate for getting the stats right for the heroes and working on how the leveling up system's going to work, and I think you're really going to enjoy what he's been putting together for us. So, all right, well, if there's no more, without further ado, go ahead.
One other thing, there is some
Sure.
ado. So
do it.
I know that yesterday we had an AMA with Dexter in the Philippines, and we kind of mentioned this, but I don't think a lot of people have heard yet. We have hired a composer for the music, and I don't know if you want to spend a minute and talk about that, but he's really good. I love it.
I actually think, for sure. It's a composer who's very experienced and has come out with some great stuff for us so far. I'm not sure who would be best to address that. Maybe I think Raspberry. You've worked with him.
Yeah,
You worked with
Raspberry
a
would be good.
composer for several years, right? You've known him. Oh, maybe she's not here.
She just joined, so she might
Yeah.
be setting up her audio, but
Okay.
oh, there she
Sorry,
is.
I was talking to my kids. I missed the question.
Oh, it's okay. We just wanted to share a little about the composer that we've pulled on to help with some of the music making. We're trying to get more original assets, and while we all love the music we have, we've got scenes going forward and possible music refreshes that are coming. And just was wondering if you could share a little about our composer that we pulled onto the team.
Yeah, so I've worked with him in the past. He's from the UK and he has been composing for, I think it's over 10 years now. I can't share too much information, but like a
That's
game
okay.
that I worked on in the past, we hired him on and worked directly with him. And I don't know, he's very well rounded. He can like pretty much do anything. So I'm super excited to have him. He's already done a bank tune for us, which I don't think we've launched yet, but
Right.
yeah, and he's super sweet, and I just can't wait to see more from him.
Agreed.
I would
Alright.
say one extra thing with him, he vetted us pretty heavy.
Yes, he
Um,
did.
so we had a call with
Oh,
him,
yeah.
me and Raspberry. He's like, now I need to make sure this is like, because he's not involved in crypto space at all. So he's like, I need to know, like, ethically, am I okay to join this team? Because, so we had to go through quite a few things with him and be like, all right, here's how we're doing our project. Here's what we're putting in place so that we have ethics going forward with this project, and what we've done in the past. So he's a pretty good guy. Like it's nice to have those kind of people to make sure, like, to give you a little morale check. Be like, oh snap, okay, let me look at myself, and yeah, so it was like kind of like a little reflection time for us, but it was good to have. Those are very healthy
Yeah.
people to have
Yep, and we
involved.
passed the test, right?
Yeah, yep,
That's the
we did.
best.
Yeah,
All
that's
right.
good.
Awesome. Well, is there anything else we'd like to touch on before we get into these questions? All right. I'll take that as it's okay. Let's start
Well,
with some.
I'm sure we'll probably cover it in some of the questions, but I was hoping we could have Hubert talk about some of the ones that are related to the mechanics as they come up in the questions. So I guess we'll probably have him do that.
Sure. I agree.
Thanks.
All right. So I'm just going to start at around the 11 o'clock mark in the AMA questions channel. Let's see here. All right. So here's the first question about questing. Is it a per heroes or account? What I'm asking is if I have 10 heroes, can I send them all on a different quest at the same time? Do we want to start with Hubert talking about that? I mean, I think I know the answer to this, but it might be good to have him see if he can answer.
Yeah, so right now it's kind of set up with the quests that are going to be there. There are two that are nearly instantaneous. It's like a 15-second delay from when you start it to when you end. Like that'd be the fishing and foraging. So for those, it'd be kind of a one at a time approach that you would do, but it should be fast enough that you can do it over and over. And we may implement a system where you can just start it with multiple, and then you just have to click to do that. But we're still working on that, so could be a future feature to come. With mining, since that's going to be based on unlocking some of your locked jewels, we're planning on that being just a one hero at a time quest. And then gardening, there's still a little bit more fine tuning to do on that. It will be kind of related to the pools that if you have LPs in them. And we're working out the details about whether that's going to be just a one hero at a time or if it's a one hero per pool type of thing. So
Nice.
it's a couple things to look forward to.
Awesome. Great.
Yeah, and part of the reasoning there with that is, it has a lot of aspects of kind of like idle style play, and a lot of times what people do is they will check into the game maybe a few times a day, and they'll see their heroes that have accumulated stamina over the last few hours, and they'll essentially have them get sent out on all the quests until all their stamina is gone, and then they'll log off and they'll do all the real world stuff, and then in that interim time their stamina will be slowly accruing again, and then hop on again and do that. So that's sort of the style that we're going for. And for some of those quests, though, like for mining, I mean, if your heroes have enough stamina, you could have them basically. It's essentially set up so that it'll use all of your stamina for as long as you have them stay in. So if they have like 80 stamina, they could maybe stay in there for almost all night. Whereas if someone only has like 25 stamina, it might only be a couple hours. So yeah, those are those things that can be improved with stats as they increase their level.
Yeah. That kind of segues into this next question. Do you need just one hero to summon / the unspoken word we don't use, or two? Do you need just one hero to summon, or do you need two heroes? And I think the answer to that is you need two heroes, but one of them you need to own. Is that right, Frisky?
Yeah, that's right. So what we want to ensure is that you have to at least have a hero to summon other heroes, and you have to have two heroes to make it work. So one of them has to be yours. The other one could be yours, or it could be one that you rent from other people. So other people will have the ability to basically put their heroes up for rent to help other people with summoning for a cost that is configurable. And then if other people want to summon, they have to choose one of their heroes, and they have to either select another one of their heroes or basically look at all of the available heroes to rent and figure out which one they want to summon with there, and have to pay that price at that time.
Great. Awesome. Just kind of skimming through here, trying to find some good questions. Let's see. Here's one that got a heart that I think I might have skipped it on accident. Let's see. What measures will you take in order to let the low budget players be able to experience the full aspect of the game and be profitable? That's going to come down to kind of how you play, obviously. I think that we're trying to design the game to have entry points for players of all bankrolls, kind of a thing, right? If you've got a lot of jewels, there's things you can do. If you've got a little bit of jewels, there's things you can do. I'm not sure if anyone would like to speak to that about the measures we would take to let low budget players be able to experience.
I could just mention one or two things. It's not going to be an all-inclusive answer, but maybe it's
Sure.
a springboard for someone else. One thing we hope is, as heroes become more plentiful, there will be kind of like more options in terms of tiers of quality. So, you might have heroes that have super nice stats, and those are going to cost more. Obviously, they're just better utility. But there should be, as there's more heroes out there on the market, a kind of like a tiered buy-in point. Depending on what your wallet is in order to buy into to get your first hero, or your second hero. There should be, options all across the board for that. Just naturally, just as there's more heroes on the market, that's gonna be the case. So, but in a way, it's gonna be determined by you guys, So, like, we can't actually set the price of the market for everything. It kind of is going to be an organic development, so we'll kind of see where that goes. But yeah, we're starting it out as best we can.
Yeah.
And the other thing is that, like, if you buy in at a later generation, you're not getting a worse hero. Oftentimes, you're actually getting a better hero. The stats are going to be higher. The classes are going to be better because it's not, the normal classes. It's going to be possibly advanced classes or whatever. And then there's a couple of questions through the AMA questions that I can answer really quickly.
Sure.
Yeah. Let's see. The learning curve for understanding the mechanics of the game. How do you strike the balance? So we plan on having a lot of videos online about how to play the game. We have content creators that are working with us that are going to be doing like kind of theory crafting and whatnot. A few of which are very experienced within the play to earn space. I'm even in talks with some Twitch people. That's pretty early on, but it's still really, really bullish for the game, and hopefully, eventually, we'll even be able to get it added to like the Steam, or sorry, not the Steam listing, but the Twitch listing for games that are being streamed, which should not be that difficult. I had a tiny play to earn game added before; it was not that big of a deal. And then, do we need to become how quick the APR is dropping in LPs? And then there was another one that was saying, do we have plans for keeping things stable and preventing price dumps as they drop over the epoch? Absolutely. Our entire tokenomics and like emissions and unlock schedule is all based around avoiding price cliffs. I'm not worried about it whatsoever, and I don't think that anyone in here should be either. Remember that as kind of TVL goes up, APR goes down because there's more people to spread the love to. I think that Frisky would probably be the best person to talk to about that, though.
Yeah, I'll say a few words. We have, I mean, I have been involved in like a lot of other projects as an investor and on the other side as well, and I've seen kind of how things go and what to avoid, because you see like a lot of these other projects that will explode and then they'll dump and they'll be gone. and that's for sure not what we're going after in this case. We want to have long-term sustained growth, and so that's how we've created uh, these tokenomics basically is with that in mind. And so everything that we're doing with like incentivizing the bank and just having like in-game transactions, having like utility for the Jewel token. A lot of these other projects don't really have utility for their token, and so that's one of the really strong things that really sets our project apart from others. Is we have a actual like use case for that token where it is the very like lifeblood of this entire game. So you'll see a lot of consumption of that too, and it'll get kind of like recycled in as like rewards for quests and things like that. But it'll just kind of always be circulating and always be actually like used basically. And so yeah, there is that, and then also the issuance over time will drop, and that's to like reward the early investors, which is all of you guys. Um, and at the same time, the unlocked amount will increase. So that serves to kind of help it to stay more stable, so it's not a huge cliff or drop at any time. So there isn't ever really like a time where you'd say, okay, after this point, all of the rewards are going to go way down, and I'm going to leave. Like there isn't really ever any actual spots like that, except for I guess probably the very first week that we saw where it went from 256 to 128. That was probably easily the like largest like reduction there in issuance, and we saw it. It was like I think 37 cents, and it went to like 32 cents really quickly, and then it came back even stronger. And that was the single largest like reduction we'll ever have in this project. And so it's basically all smoother from here on out. So I don't really see any upcoming cliffs or anything like that.
And Bluity, because folks are already anticipating their dumps, so how to prevent the jewel price fall from completely tanking? From completely tanking July 2022 through 2023. There's going to be so many use cases for jewel in game at that point. I am not worried about that at all. And also remember that that's the linear unlock period. That's not whenever everything unlocks.
Yeah, so that's the key. And I think a lot of people don't understand that is it's not just like suddenly on that date, boom, there's another like 200 million tokens out there. No, it's like slowly over the next year after that, you'll see a little bit every day will come out. And probably at that time, we'll have such a like use case with the in-game stuff that it'll actually be somewhat scarce, like to have jewels. So it'll be very like a nice thing to have those start to unlock, because having those start to like issue into the economy more will like really help with that flow and that circulation.
Yeah,
exactly. A few other quick questions, really quick.
Yeah.
So somebody mentioned about is this being recorded? We're not recording it ourselves, but we have our content creators who generally do. So if you had to leave early, that's something that's probably going to be recorded. Is Tosh here? I think Tater Tosh.
Gonna
I know
be
you probably
Tosh
can't
today,
talk, but
yeah.
I see
he-
Tater.
he does sometimes record things, so just a heads up on that. And go ahead, Flu. I know you had something more to follow up with.
I was just gonna do a couple more quick ones, but you still got stuff. Go off.
Oh no, that was it. Was just wanted to get that out there for people who had to leave. Some people said they had to step out. So
Okay. Sarah is also recording just in case. So Sarah's
great.
good as well. What is daily lucky spin for Drake? You don't have to do anything for the extra holder spins. Fox will probably talk about that in a few minutes. The extra holder daily spins that he mentioned in those announcements. I think the key thing on that is just leave your jewels in the bank and you're eligible. It's pretty easy. Any plans to make DEX features more friendly for people who are not interested in the gamification aspects of DeFi Kingdoms? So there's two things I want to touch on here. One, right now, all we have is DEX features. So yes, there's definitely plans for that. We want to make sure that the DEX and the any other features that we add to the DEX side, the non-game side, are fully developed. Probably my eventual long-term goals for my role is to take care of some of the aspects of that so that Fox doesn't have to. And there's going to be a lot of videos on that. There's a lot of videos on that already for the DEX aspects. If you're talking about the interface, we're probably not going to change the interface just for that. We're probably not going to offer like a money maker mode or something like that where we strip out all the gamification aspects, because I mean that's what makes us us. However, you can always use vfat.tools to interact with it on the back end if you're just like, absolutely, I hate these graphics, I hate this music, I hate having fun. I'm going to go in and I'm going to just be business. So you can always use vfat.
Yeah, but also with that said, we are having plans to sort of like reduce the barrier to entry into it too, because currently you have to have like 1 tokens to even create a profile and even see the game. So we are working on having that changed so that you could only have to do like a signature and then see it, or even just have you see like the map first, but not be able to do anything until you create your profile. And it would allow people to see stuff in the gardens and to see the market and all that type of stuff as well. So, and then if they want to actually trade on it, then of course they can do that even without a profile in the future
Yeah.
as well. So
That'd be cool.
Yeah.
That would help George immensely. I feel.
Right. Yeah, so we want like if like you're only interested in the deck stuff, we like want you to be able to come in and be able to trade, because like we are currently the number 1 Harmony decks, native like Harmony decks, and so a lot of people are coming to us just simply because we have the most liquidity, and that won't be changing anytime soon. It's it's just been growing and growing and growing, and eventually we're going to overtake Sushi Swap too. That's next on our radar. So we will have. Oh, I accidentally muted myself. We will have a lot of people that are here just purely for that, and we want to make it easy for them as well.
And so, kind of speaking to that as well, Fox. So we have plans to add more pools going forward, just to kind of keep that momentum.
Yeah,
I mean,
actually, so we're planning on adding some new gardens later, I think in like an hour or two, actually. So stay tuned for that.
we have 2 going live today, right? Or do you have more than that?
At least 2. I'm going to be
Ooh.
doing probably another one that I
Ooh.
haven't announced to anyone yet. So stay tuned.
Ooh, that's crazy.
Yep.
Right.
Not only that, guys, there's we're not done with the deck side. Like, and that's all I'll say with that. Just we're gonna keep on developing every aspect of this platform and working on it as hard as we can. We're not gonna forget about it just because we're primarily a game. We're not gonna forget about it just because we got focused on something else. So there's a lot of different sort of focuses with all the team members, and I think that we all have our own passion projects here. So I don't think you guys need to worry about it stagnating or anything like that.
Yeah, that is one of the niceties about having a bigger team is at first we kind of had to have our brains on every single different button on the whole machine, but now it's getting easier for me at least, to just focus in and be like, all right, here's the feel of the game, rather than having to encompass the whole thing. So we're getting pretty good with that. We're tuning in to getting the machine of the production well greased and ready to rock. So we're pretty happy about that. It's relieving a lot of stresses. So that's been nice.
This might be another question for Hubert here. So if you have 2 Gen 0 heroes, then it's unlimited summoning. Could you speak to that a bit, Hubert?
Yeah, that's true. So there is going to be a cost increase with each summon that you make. So even with Gen Zeros, they will start out as the cheapest and their top price. So there will be kind of a cap on the on the top side as well. Will also be one of the lowest, or actually the lowest, like capped price for summoning. But then there will also be a cooldown timer that grows with each summon as well, just to kind of control how many heroes can be produced at once.
Nice.
Can those be adjusted over time? I'm actually asking for me. I don't even know. So
We're still talking about what's possible. One idea was there may be a way to reduce your cooldown timer through some means within the game. But we haven't gotten to a point where we can really talk about that too much.
Okay.
Yep, you need to get the special stamina so that you can head right back into having the summoning happen again. Like
Some sort of DeFi
special
aggro.
potion. Yes. But yeah, so with that said too, it's can we change all these things? Yes. We will be monitoring how everything is in the game and if it's in balance. And if we see anything that's out of balance or out of whack, then we will make small changes there to make sure that it stays healthy.
Awesome. And then this is a good question, actually. I like this. If me and a friend have a hero each, can we summon a hero just like that, or do we need to rent a hero from each other?
Good question. I got asked this yesterday by Hubert, actually. And I was like, oh, I mean, I think up until now we hadn't planned on that, but it does make a lot of sense because you don't want to just basically send your hero to someone else and trust them that they'll send it back. I mean, like you could do that, right? But I think in the game we would like to basically also have some kind of like facility for you to say, I am allowing address X to have access to this hero until they summon with it or something like that. So yeah, I think we could do something like that.
Awesome. And then, oh, never mind. This is already answered. All right, I'm gonna keep on reading through this. You guys go.
Are you reading through the AMA questions channel, or are you picking these up somewhere else? Just curious,
No,
Lou.
these are AMA questions. I'm only reading through the AMA questions channel. I want to make sure to enforce that. By the way, everyone, from now on, we just want to focus on the AMA questions channel during these. So make sure that you're asking them within that text channel. In the past, we've kind of collected them from like general and other sources, but please ask all of your AMA questions in that channel. Thank you.
For sure. Let's see if we can find any. If you find any others, of course, that look good, just call them out. I'm skimming through myself here.
And we probably have another few minutes because we try to keep these to half an hour, which is already over. But let's try to take maybe 2 or 3 more questions.
Sure. Will there be quests to unlock locked jewels? I think that's a quick answer. Yes, there will. Right, that's going to be the mining quest.
Yep. And I've seen a lot of people that are concerned about, oh, like all of the whales are going to get all these heroes and unlock all their jewels and everything's going to crash. And there will be limits on all of these things. So the amount of like unlocked jewels you could do over a certain day is actually capped. And you can only have like one hero at a time that is doing that as well. So it's not a mechanism that could allow like any whales to just hurry and mine a bunch and then exit. That's not how it'll work at all.
Here's a good one. I think, Hubert, you might spend some time on this. Can you guys talk about item resource use? So I think they're talking about things that are not jewel, but like the gold, for example, or the other items.
Sure, yeah. So all of those will be considered ERC tokens that are generated by playing the game. So I think what we've discussed right now is like Gaia's tears and gold and pet eggs. So gold will be kind of a standard like in-game resource that you can use to buy an event. This is kind of coming down the road. So when we get started, there won't be like a much of a market for using gold yet. But the plan is that you'll be able to use gold to buy basic equipment for your heroes, to be able to buy potions that you can use on combat quests, and also to be able to pay for very expensive pet eggs. And so the pets will be like just something that you have attached to your character that give you an extra bonus, and they will have their own little sprites. And there will be different kind of pet eggs from different locations. So you have a small chance of getting a pet egg from basically any quest, and it'll be a different color, and then that different color of pet will have different, or a pet egg will have a different pool of pets that it will come from. Potions. Right now, we have a bunch of different potions that we've been planning on. Of course, there's like healing and mana potions, but then things that'll like increase defense and different things like that. And the way you can get potions is either by buying them with gold or also by going to. There will be an alchemist at some point that's going to be able to combine some of the other resources that you get from fishing and from foraging into different kinds of potions. And there will be some potions that you can only get by doing that combination. You won't be able to just buy them with gold. But they are all ERC20 tokens, so it does also allow a market to be created amongst the players if they want to try to sell things that they've received to others who don't have them. There'll be that. Gaia's Tears are a necessary item for summoning. So everyone will be needing Gaia's Tears to be able to summon it all. And then there will also be runes that will be used to level up your character as well that you'll need to collect. And that's kind of just an overview of like what's coming right now. But there's always a lot of room for expansion as we progress forward.
Exciting stuff. And a lot of those items you're going to be able to get through questing. Is that right, Hubert?
Right. Yeah. With the quests that are coming out right now, the only thing that you're not going to be able to get from those quests is potions directly. But you'll be able to, it may not be released exactly at the same time as the heroes, but there will be an alchemist that comes down the road. And those potions are really going to be used for combat quests. So until we have combat quests in place, the potions will just be kind of collecting and getting ready for you to be able to use them once we get that done.
Nice.
Yep. Also, I don't know if you wanted to spend a minute, Hubert, to just kind of talk about, I guess, on the map, how we'll see some of the dungeons, not in this next phase, but just kind of some of the things we planned for when we start having those combat quests.
Sure, yeah. So I don't know if anyone, I'm sure some of you guys have kind of clicked and dragged the map off into the clouds and noticed that it goes out really, really far. So, our plan with this is that map is going to be, revealed over time as we open up new locations. And one thing I really want to do with combat quests is have a very large variety of them and have them be like an actual location on the map that you go to. And one thing we're planning on is that these quests would be only available for a certain period of time, and then they'll go away for a while and come back again. Not on a completely perfectly regular schedule. There'll be some randomness involved. But I do also want the quest to kind of be kind of level based, so there will be level caps or like level requirements that you need to have, so that kind of be able to control the difficulty. And also make it so there are some quests that are fairly easy to do and others that are going to be very challenging and are going to require that you have a party of heroes that are well geared to be able to actually do the quest. And then tiering the rewards based on the difficulty.
So we've got a really important question from Sofa here. Can we make jewel juice real? I think we're going to have to take a close look at that for a potion.
Yeah. No, that's great. I also just wanted to plug one more thing. We're out of time, but I got a message from one of our mods, Pithfall or Pithfall, I don't know. But he and some guys are interested in starting up a guild, which in our game in the future we will have a lot of different guilds. So over at this point, it's not an official guild in the game or anything like that yet, but that will be possible a bit further down the line. But what he wants to do is he wants to have some kind of a scholarship program where he wants to sponsor people and have them like play to earn, that type of stuff. Sort of a benevolent service to the community sort of thing. So if anyone's interested in that, you could send him a message. We'll probably be announcing a little bit extra stuff there, but it's not officially from our team per se. It's more of just a community effort there with the grassroots effort. So you'll see like a lot of these guilds will start to pop up here in this community that will have like certain ambitions and certain creeds. So yeah, all of that will just be coming over time.
Awesome. Great to hear.
There was one. Do you mind if I squeeze like one last question?
Squeeze one in there, and then we'll wrap up after your comments. No
This
worries.
was PM'd a couple times to me, so I just wanted to. There's the general question of hero dusting to avoid overpopulation of heroes. So the idea of kind of recycling minted heroes. Reasons why you would do that. That's what I could understand if the question flew. I don't know if
We
this is
discussed
like
some of
Well,
Yeah.
yeah. So we actually kind of talked about that last night. Me and Hubert, especially in our
yeah.
messages. So we have a few ideas for that. I don't know if you want to mention any of those over there, Hubert. All these are still like ideas at this stage, but here's kind of what we're thinking.
Sorry, I was reading people's questions and not paying attention. I'm sorry. Could you repeat what the question is?
So he and I were kind of talking about some ideas to kind of like recycle heroes, and there's a few things involved with that. But one of the things we were kind of talking about that I think would be really cool is having the ability to have your heroes have kind of like a life quest where if they're able to complete that quest, and it'd be kind of like a random quest that they get where they speak with the NPC and get this random quest. But if they're able to complete that quest, they'd have the ability to like retire, and then at that point you'd get some awesome like items or something from that quest. But yeah, there will be stuff like that. And I think we were talking about the ability to turn your heroes into dust, other ways as well. But it's still kind of just ideas at this point. Anything you wanted to add to that over there, Hubert?
No, I think that's a pretty good explanation. Yeah, we've been talking about an achievement system, and so those life goal quests could be, achieve these certain things, and then you can choose to retire at that point, kind of thing. Is what we're
Kind
talking
of
about.
like Gloomhaven, something like
Yes,
that.
anyone who's played Gloomhaven would be very familiar with that system.
Nice, thanks.
Hey,
Cool.
Frisky, we're getting a few questions that are kind of frustrated with the lack of new information about the hero sale, which, because I know that we did say that there would be more information about that. That's coming in an announcement later today, though. That was not part of the AMA, right?
Yeah, so the hero sale, we'll be kind of like fleshing out the exact way it'll work. I don't know if we want to show maybe some of the mock-ups, or not mock-ups, but like the screenshots from like the UI that we have so far. That could be something that maybe Pieface could put together, and then we could kind of explain how that'll work more afterwards.
Yes. So in
I
announcements, yeah.
Yeah, I think
Right.
that'd be awesome. Yeah.
Okay.
I could just briefly speak about it, I guess. So like we had that governance vote, which I think is ending in like 15 minutes from now, maybe. And it looks like it'll be the starting at like 1,000 joules and then increasing by 0.5 until it's over, which would mean starting at 1,000 and then up to 2,000. So everyone would just have to basically run in and press the button to buy, and just kind of, you'd have to approve the contract first to spend your joules up to 2,000, and then hit the button, and then you'll basically spend it. And if you want to have it be set lower, I think we'll have a setting for that too. But you'll hit the button, and then if you are lucky and you get it for that price, then it'll just like subtract those joules, and you'll have that egg. You'll have to wait for like 30 seconds to open it, and then after you open it, you'll have the ability to go ahead and have like the sale button for like another one. So I'm trying to remember those screenshots right now, but I think if we share those screenshots, that will help everyone to kind of understand the flow of that.
So you mentioned just then, you said that if they get lucky and they get it for that price, are you saying that we're only going to be able to pre-approve like a certain exact amount, and then like we just have to keep on trying for that one, or is there going to be built-in slippage where like we can approve up to a certain amount? So that we
Yeah,
have
so actually that's already kind of built in where if you approve a ERC20 token, you can approve it to be spent from your account up to however much you set. So you could set it to be like, I'm going to approve this to spend up to 1,200. And then when you hit the button, if it's able to snag you one for that price, it will. If it's not, because it's already higher, then it'll just basically fail. So that's how that will work. So
Alright.
if you like want to be sure you get one, you could set it to 2,000, and that might be the smart way to do it. Because I'm not sure how fast these will sell out, but I think there's going to be a lot of interest in it, and I would not be surprised if it went really quickly.
Yeah. Well, these are great questions. I think we want to try and keep it short. Do we want to squeeze one more in, or we want to wrap it right
I
here?
think
No,
we're
that
probably gonna go.
gone long.
Yeah, let's
Okay.
wrap it. It's already over.
So we're gonna wrap up here, guys. Really appreciate y'all coming out and attending the AMA, and yeah, we'll see you next time.
Oh, I'm gonna squeeze in one more. I'm so sorry. It's not a question, but I want to let everybody know about we are doing 2 jewel giveaways right now on Twitter. So if you haven't already participated, go over there. We're giving away 200 jewel to 10 lucky winners on each one. All you got to do is like, follow, retweet, tag 3 of your friends, and the first set of winners is going to be chosen tomorrow, and then I think the second set is going to be on Wednesday. We're going to be doing a lot more campaigns as well, so keep your eye out on our Twitter page, go win some jewel. And then just real quickly, we also have a lot of awesome live streams and collaborations coming up with YouTubers. And one of the big ones is with Dexter Plays. We haven't set a date yet, so just kind of look on our announcement page for a date when the next one comes out. But I do want to tease, we are going to be giving away a Gen 0 hero during that live stream. So keep your eyes out.
Nice.
Awesome.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's exciting because we just hit 30 million TVL like a day after we hit 25 million. So we're kind
They're
of having those
overlapping.
overlap. But yeah, next up is 35. So anyways,
Awesome.
thanks everyone for coming. We have a lot of exciting things this week coming up, and we're all gonna be working hard for it. And I'm super excited. So I'll see you guys around. See you later.
See
Thank you,
ya.
everybody.
Thanks, everyone. Bye.
Bye.